women currently occupy only 29% of maritime positions. To encourage them to join our industry, training is a key factor. Our training expert, Danielle Pinksen, brings her industry experience to the table, offering insights on how to pave the way forward. Let's hear what she has to say. Hi, Danielle. Thank you for agreeing to share your knowledge here with us.
Absolutely. Thanks for asking me. I really appreciate it.
So, in your opinion, what specific barriers do women face entering the shipbuilding industry?
So my thought process on this is it's always the stigma. It's really difficult to break a stigma once it's so ingrained in people. And with respect to shipbuilding in particular, it is the type of work that's seen as traditionally male oriented and male dominated, right? So while we're able to recognize now that this mentality is dated, it is still really prevalent and it still exists. I know for me personally, I was excited to kind of leave high school and excited to take on a more technology, a role in tech, kind of creating your own path and not letting anyone really dictate it and not letting anyone get in your way. That's kind of the big thing. But it's hard, right? That is definitely the biggest challenge. That's the hurdle. And that's where people need the most support.
Yeah, thinking about that, are there any successful examples of initiative or programs aimed at attracting and training women in the shipbuilding industry?
So luckily, most shipyards nowadays are definitely starting to recognize just how important these types of initiatives are and have definitely started establishing programs that are designed to kind of bring in more women and visible minorities into the shipbuilding industry, which is absolutely fantastic. I definitely think organizations are starting to recognize that these people do require additional support and do require, that additional attention, check-ins, those types of things, mentorship, just to help them get through it. It's a difficult process, right? Overcoming the stigma and the barriers. I know a few organizations that I'm happy to kind of support and see doing great work in the community are, for example, Irving Shipyard. I know they have a Pathways to Shipbuilding program nowadays that's been extremely successful. Here in Newfoundland and Labrador, which is my home province, we have the Women's Resource Development Corporation, and they do some incredible work for women in STEM. Even honestly, that's where I kind of got my initial exposure to the types of careers that exist in this industry. I actually was involved in the Techsploration program at a young age in middle school. And truthfully, if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't have even known what types of opportunities existed out there, right? Outside from the traditional female roles. I know specifically here within SSI, we are always on the hunt for these types of initiatives and opportunities to get involved and to support in any way that we can. I know SSI, for me personally, is one of the best organizations that I've ever worked for with respect to diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Yeah, do you have some suggestion on how mentorship programs could be utilized to support and guide women throughout their training in the industry?
For sure. So this is something I myself am extremely passionate about and have definitely been trying to get more involved in. I have been a mentor to a lot of younger women entering the shipbuilding industry. So they tend to come to me, ask questions, and it is like my greatest pride and joy to guide them and be there for them absolutely every step of the way, lifting other women up. That's the big thing, right? Lifting them up. I love seeing other women thrive in their career, and I'm always open to chat with people. And I think that's the support that women truly need to stay committed to this industry despite the mental challenges, right? Um, it's important to recognize us as women really do face unique challenges in this industry.
Yeah, and following this line of thought, how do you think the shipbuilding industry can better promote itself for a viable career for women?
So the number one answer for me here is always visibility. I definitely think it's important for organizations to prioritize finding and supporting strong female leaders within their companies to help serve as these mentors for women within the organization. and then you can kind of see yourself in that position as well, and then you want to work harder, right? So this is how we're going to get women in the door and keep them there. I know that nowadays in the shipbuilding industry, the hot topic really is the talent shortage, right? And how we're going to mitigate this. We're struggling to find quality, talented shipbuilders, but the way I look at it is there's a workforce out there of smart women that are extremely interested and eager to work within the shipbuilding industry.
Yeah, we can only see ourselves doing something if we know what is there to do, right?
Exactly, right? How am I supposed to know what opportunities even exist if I grow up only seeing males in these leadership positions? I mean, it's really challenging to kind of even anticipate or picture your career progression, right? You can't even visualize it because it doesn't even appear to be a viable option.
Yeah, with all that said, do you think the shipbuilding industry is on the right path to gender equity?
Yes and no. I definitely think I've seen great progression throughout my career, 100%. But I will be honest and say that I worry sometimes that some things might just be for show. Organizations may decide to implement certain initiatives, mentorship programs, those kinds of things that sound absolutely amazing in theory. But I always worry that once they hit a snag or once, they kind of have an issue come up, that they might again take the path of least resistance, right? It is a change and everybody has to be committed to the change. That's the big thing. And I find that to be kind of lacking sometimes. Leaders really need to pay attention to their staff, calling out the microaggressions as they come up. And the most important thing is the education, right? It's educating people so that they even understand what it is they're doing and how it could be impacting other people, right? We just got to ensure that it's not just to check another box, right? Companies aren't just doing it to check the box, say we've done it, implemented the practices. They have to be committed. They have to stick to it. They have to do check-ins, check in with women, check in with visible minorities, see how they're feeling, see if they're happy with the progress that the organization has made, right? These practices then will indicate true commitment. And I think that's when we're going to start to see real change that's going to stick.
Oh, thank you, Danielle, once again for sharing your experience in the industry and at SSI training people here. It was so much appreciated.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Honestly, talking about these things, I just think these issues are so important. And, I'm grateful for International Women's Day because it does give us the opportunity to really highlight it and to, bring it to the forefront. So I appreciate the opportunity from SSI to kind of talk about my experiences and hopefully build towards a better future. That's all we can hope for, right?
Yeah, totally.